Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Baby That's Cont, Traitors Edition. This week, we are recapping Season 4, Episode 7, The Black Banquet. I am Kip.
And I'm Joseph. Let's get into it.
Definitely.
So, this week's episode, The Black Banquet, honestly, one of my favorites. It opens
Great episode.
with, agree, it opens with everyone coming into a beautifully decorated dinner table, banquet room, even. Um, my first comment I wrote down is Mara looks so good.
She looked great. I loved her hat.
Did you have any? The hat was really good. Any standout outfits?
I thought Colton looked really bad, but we already kind of knew that. I
Yeah,
feel like too they changed the edit because, or maybe, anyways, they just had really showed him in the pearls and stuff previously, and then this week he was all like buttoned up, and they didn't show him that much, so that kind of felt on purpose to me.
yeah. I
I
wrote
thought,
everyone looks so good except Robin Colton.
yeah, I really liked Candace's a lot. I
Oh,
thought that was
hers is good.
beautiful. I kind of thought that snake in front of her eyes would get annoying after a while if it was me.
Yeah. Well, I think pretty much everything women have to do to get in full glam is annoying. So, like, what's one more thing?
Sure. I didn't hate Rob's as much as I thought I was going to. Like, I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it as much as I thought. And I thought that what's so interesting is like people were talking about production on this, and so giving the amulet to the three traitors did kind of make it so that one of the two women had to wear it, which was kind of not fair. But I did actually think it kind of worked with Rob's outfits. There was a lot of like red and stuff in it. And obviously it was like a statement look. So I thought there was a chance he could have worn it. And I actually didn't think it worked that well with Lisa's outfit.
I wonder. I mean, we don't know what happened. Like, they could have asked them off camera who's gonna do it, and like they could have picked something that would have went with the outfit that they we knew they had. But I do feel like a guy could have worn that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think that's what happened. I think that that was what was given. And then like, because like if Lisa and Candace had gotten together and said like, ultimately they have to vote, it would have been two against one. Like, Rob, you have to do it. I think they could have done that.
Yeah, and maybe they should have,
I
but they
agree
didn't
with that.
know.
I agree with that. But
Yeah,
I think he could have pulled it off. It would have been really interesting.
I feel like people definitely would have touched it if he was wearing
Oh, people want to touch Rob.
it. Yeah, Dorinda would have
I'm
been
just
murdered.
kidding. 100%.
Yeah,
And maybe not just her.
true. So they show
Um,
everyone there except for like Lisa, and she kind of gets a show like she's coming in last.
I know. I wondered if that
Which
was editing or if she really did come in last.
I feel like that would be too suspicious. So I think it was editing.
I agree.
Editing. What did you think about her outfit? I wrote something I can't read, but it's giving Donald Duck for me.
Yeah.
Like positive, complimentary.
It was okay. The comment I saw the most from people was like Conan Gray wore a very similar sailor-ish outfit, I think, to the VMAs this year. And the comment
Yeah.
was this was like the shine version of that.
That's tough.
So I
I
thought it
thought she
was
looked
I thought it was
good.
okay. I just thought for a banquet, I thought she'd be wearing like a stunning gown. And this was just giving more costume.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they definitely were more disappointing looks, but I thought
Yeah.
that the cursed amulet did look good with her outfit.
Yeah. I didn't love Mark's either, but like there's just something about everything Mark does that doesn't quite excite me.
Yeah. One thing about, I don't know if you clocked this, but there is like a little shot where Colton is like talking to Lisa and he says, "You're killing me in that outfit." And Lisa just goes,
Oh,
"Yes." Like, I thought that was so good. Like,
it's really
not to give
funny.
him his flowers, but he kind of ate with that.
I mean, it's a little low hanging fruit. I'm not gonna give it to him.
I feel like it was really fun.
Okay.
So everybody is nervous at the banquet. They're like, "Don't touch anything, don't do anything." But Lisa looks so super confident, which I feel like is a mistake.
Yeah, I know. She can only kind of do one thing, as we learn in the episode.
True. I don't know if anybody was clocking it, but she was just kind of like parading around, like peacocking, if you will. Hmm?
Definitely,
Get it?
I do.
Readers on Peacock. New episodes every Friday, Thursday.
Thursday at 9 Eastern.
Yeah. So we hear from Lisa, and she's basically considering trying to get Jam Jam, Kristen, or Natalie to touch the amulet.
Yes,
And we
because it was
don't
going to
know
be too
who she.
suspicious to kill Colton.
Yeah. Which everyone knows is the right play, I think. So
Agreed.
I was really wondering like how she was going to get someone to touch it. Like, I feel like it wouldn't be hard, but as we see, she pretends the pin is poking her and gets someone to fix it, which is like, I think it's a very smart. Like, I wouldn't have thought that that would be gameplay, right?
Yeah, I thought that was really good too. And I was surprised too. I thought that like, especially given that her outfit was there wasn't much detail to it in terms of things to comment on. I was expecting someone just to say like, "Oh my god, that's beautiful," and her to say, "Oh my god," and feel it. That's sort of just what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. It did seem like a lot of people were commenting on it, though.
Yeah, they were, but then like it seemed like it didn't go further. They were just like, "Oh, I love that." She's like, "Ah, "Isn't it gorgeous?" And it ended there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Okay, so they get to the table. I'm calling it the rectangle table because it's not round. Okay, well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. But there's like a lot of shots of like people getting food. There's some tarot cards on the table, which notably Steven, is it Steven? Picks a
I think
card,
so.
and the card that is chosen is Kristen. Um, Steven serves some people some meat. Dorinda serves. Who is it? She serves someone meat, and
She served Tara.
yeah, when Tara was like, "No, thanks," she was like, "I don't eat meat that's been sitting out too long."
Yes. Oh my god. The funny one of the funniest lines for me came like later in at the banquet, but Dorinda Tara brings up the fact that like Dorinda fed her turkey or like served her turkey. And Dorinda goes, "I'm just a natural server. I'm sorry."
I know.
Like, what? It's not my instinct to pick up meat and hand it to others.
Well, I think it was like a matronly, like I feed my friends and family vibe,
Yeah, I think that's right. But it was very funny.
but it did come off as like I'm a pusher, Katie.
Yeah, 100%. It was
Yeah.
really funny.
So once they're all at the table, everybody starts to get sentimental about their time there together, which is kind of cute.
It was cute.
Um, it's funny because it's like clearly this is not the place or time to be doing that when you like literally know someone's getting murdered, but kind of Last Supper vibes, if you will.
Well, especially, I mean, we the viewers know what happened early, but like, yeah, you have to have assumed someone it may have already happened.
Yeah. And they were all like trying to be like so careful, but it's like, then why are you touching the tarot cards? Why are you like,
I know.
quote
Well, the
unquote,
producers had
asking for it?
tried to, yeah, they had tried to set up like different things like the tarot cards to distract or to offer different options to gain suspicion. So it was weird to your point that people were just being chill about it.
Yeah, I think they were trying to set up like traps, you know? So that way
Yeah.
they could cause a jorama later, as we'll see.
Yes.
So once the dinner's over, or they're done eating, I guess, Alan storms in with two, what I could only describe as goons.
Wait, oh, you missed something.
Oh,
So after we see that like someone has helped Lisa do it, but it's unclear which of the three it was,
yeah.
then everyone sits at the table and Candace and Lisa are seated across from each other. And Candace says to Lisa, "Are we feeling successful in life?" And Lisa goes, "Yes, we are." Which,
That
again,
was
it's like
not
we as
clocking to
viewers,
me.
yeah. But we as viewers know that Lisa's a traitor. But it's just, there's just a few little things. It's that, and then like something else later in the episode that some a smart faithful will eventually put them together, I think.
Lisa and Candace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. And as we see at the end of the episode, it's been clocking to others.
Yes, correct.
See, I didn't understand why Candace asked her that. I was just like, that's a really weird thing to say.
No, well, exactly. It was like, yeah, she was asking her if she'd successfully
Yeah,
done the mission, and I just think someone else would be like, yeah.
agreed. A lot of things about Candace's
We'll find out
behavior that I
next
really
week.
feel like people should be questioning.
Yeah,
I wonder if
say
it's like
that.
everybody just knows she's the traitor and they're just like keeping her around like for that.
I know, because I just think like between the conga line, that,
Yes.
and I don't know. I think Candace has played a good game, but there is enough odd behavior for someone to point to.
Yeah, I agree. So fast forward to the goons arriving with Alan.
Yes.
Maybe henchman is a better word for this situation. Alan says he's going to tell them a story, the legend of the Black Dinner, which essentially echoes what's been going on. He says people were invited to the castle for a dinner, and, quote, just before dessert, they were served with their own demise. So he tells them that the traitors have sentenced one of them to death right there under their very noses. But for the first time ever, there is hope. Cue the henchman uncloaching 2 bottles of antidote. So if drinking, it will save a player from death if they were cursed.
I thought this was fun.
I agreed, or I do agree. I mentioned before, I think there needs to be a way for someone to get saved from a death. Like, I feel like that would be very exciting to watch play out. And we get our first shot at that tonight.
Yes.
Or, well, yes.
Yeah. Well, what ends up making it really fun, I think, is like, A, it could just totally negate what was done. B, it then opens up kind of like a version of the round table where everyone now says all the suspicious things that have happened since
Yeah.
they got there.
Well, that's why I'm calling it the rectangle table.
Yes, I like
Because it's
that.
like the round table in reverse, where like instead of trying to figure out who the traitor is, you're trying to figure out who got murdered, which I think is a
Yes,
fun dynamic also.
I agree.
And one thing that I don't know if this was clocking to people that were in the room is like, I feel like this can give you a lot of information on who the traitors are. based on who's talking and who's saying what, because I don't feel like Rob, Candace, or Lisa really said anything during all of this.
I agree.
And that would have been good information.
Yeah, that was a really good point. I didn't think about that till you said it right now. The main thing I was thinking about was Rob shoving that entire hard-boiled egg into his mouth.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That's another thing is like everybody else was panicking and he was like chill.
I know. Also, like, who is eating a hard-boiled egg at dinner?
I don't know. They must have ran out of salmon.
One thing we've learned from this season of Baby That's Cont is that I have food judgments.
Well, yes. Aren't you a bit of a picky eater?
Well, no.
You just have food judgments.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Well, chaos basically ensues because Alan says, like, you have a limited amount of time to figure out who's going to drink the antidotes. So they're trying to figure out, like, did anybody take food from someone or get served food from someone? Who got hugged? Who got kissed? Whose tarot cards were picked? Um, Alan basically says time is up and scares the
Yeah.
absolute shit out of Rob, which is funny. And Natalie and Tara run up to grab the potions because they think they're at risk. Jam Jam tells Johnny to grab one for Kristen because she's kind of like, seems like too timid to stand up for herself. And
Mhm.
Johnny does, which I thought was a gag because basically he stole it from Tara to give to
Yeah,
Kristen.
that
And
was a
then
gag.
Natalie and Tara slash Tara are fighting for the other one. And Alan is like,
Yes.
somebody has to drink it now. And Tara just like, or Natalie just chugs it down.
Yes. She was
So
aggressive about it for sure. But good for
that's
her.
drama. Like to me, this whole situation, it really brought out, like, it showed a lot about everybody in the room if you're paying attention.
Yeah. Well, going back like a minute to like the different accusations, Jam Jam says that Lisa kissed him on the cheek. Um, and first of all, I watched it back again, and actually, no, she only air kissed, and she did air kiss a lot of people. And what's even funnier is Jam Jam was like the first one she saw, I think, and Jam Jam went in for the air kiss, not Lisa.
Wow, he really did that.
Yeah. So I just thought, anyways, it just made me laugh because he painted that as like a real damning piece of evidence. Um, and Moira said she thought she saw it because she was like really funny. She said like, I was like, I hope Lisa doesn't get her lips on me and ruin my makeup or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so that was just funny, but it's like she didn't actually kiss anyone, which I don't think she would because she's wearing all the sticky
Yeah.
stuff.
I just wonder if Jam Jam, it was like a language difference. Like they were saying air kiss, and when he said kissed on the cheek, like to him that's the same thing, and he like didn't understand that.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like that's in his culture, that would be considered a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, exactly.
Eh, yeah, I could see that.
But Mara saying that she saw it is like a little weird too. Like maybe she just was suspicious of Lisa and was trying to like throw more wood on the fire to see what happens.
But she also wasn't that close, so it probably just like, and definitely like their faces kind of crossed. Like definitely her face went up to him, but like it
Yeah.
wasn't. Anyways, from the wrong angle, you could think it was like an actual kiss.
It just is so funny to me. This is like the second time this season that they're like correct for all the wrong reasons.
I know, it's so funny.
It's truly giving a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yes, it is.
Not the right saying for the situation, but it did happen twice, so I'm using it.
We'll take it. It's not bad.
Yeah. So I was thrilled that Natalie and Kristen were at least safe because right now they're two of my faves.
Yeah.
Um, Alan, which I thought was really funny, it was like duck goosing them around the table. And then it's like Jam Jam is murdered. And then the two henchmen come and literally pull him away. Like dramatic, scary.
That surprised me. I did not see that coming.
I know, I didn't either. So while he's getting torn away, he's basically saying, "It's Lisa, it's Lisa, it's Lisa. She kissed me. It's Lisa."
Yes.
Which makes me wonder, like, should they be allowed to talk after you've been murdered?
Oh, I thought it was fun because like Jam Jam had no information to like proving it was Lisa. It was just the same speculation. So I actually thought it was just really interesting and added something to the game that he was able to yell that because like he was completely wrong about like what killed him
Yeah.
and like in theory it should have given Lisa a good opportunity to defend herself because she knows it wasn't that, so she should be able to come up with a good defense.
Well, her defense was the truth. She didn't do that.
Right, but she did not have a plausible defense or redirection as to why what else happened or why
Yeah.
he thought it was her. And she needed that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to it later, but I think Rob really sealed the deal for her going down.
I know, but like the thing about Lisa is like she was under suspicion, but it's because all season she did not do a good job of defending herself. Like every time someone would ask her a
Yeah.
question about something she was guilty of, like, well then why was this? She would always just say, I don't know. And it's like you need to give someone else something else. Or it's just like, okay, you don't know, so it's that then.
Yeah. I agree. So I thought we were gonna get like more after this, but Alan kind of just walks away and like that's it for the night.
Yeah. No, it was just funny because he had teased that this was like the most carnage ever and like it was an incredible episode, Traitors history, all of that. And it was really good, but it did feel anticlimactic to then just have like one death. And there could have been zero if the right person had drank the potion.
Yeah. I mean, I think I see where he's coming from because I think it really turned a lot of people against each other. Like nobody was suspicious of Natalie. Now like Tara is like can't trust her. Um I think a lot of people like got caught up in the chaos.
Well, that's true. And like it did seem like Lisa was going down at some point anyway, but it is the cause of her demise, like for sure.
Yeah. And I also think we'll get to it later in the episode with the dagger situation. Like I just feel like one thing about the show is that this is a game everybody knows, right? Like Mafia or Werewolf. And that entire game, what translates to the show is only played at the round table. Like that's the whole game is voting people out. And then they add all this other stuff into the show to flesh it out and make it a bigger deal. But really the only time you gain like true, like real information is questioning people at the round table.
Yeah.
I mean, you can question them outside of that, but it doesn't really seem to happen that much on the show.
Yeah.
When they add in things like this, like the rectangle table or the dagger game, you're really finding out more evidence and information that you can actually use. And so in that way, I think this episode really like opened up the actual game for the show.
Yeah. I agree with that. And then it seems they're also doing a really thoughtful and good job of that. Cause like, so we go to the challenge next, right? And there is the dagger game, which we'll talk about in a second. But like, um, the winner of that game gets an extra vote. and that is just really a fun twist. Like, I mean, they took it from Survivor, or I mean, who knows? I'm sure other people have done that, but it's just really fun, and it adds gameplay and it adds twists to it in a way that like just is continuing to make it more interesting to me than they used to be.
Yeah, I think one thing I love about this season is it did transform it from what seemed like a game of chance now into more of a game of strategy. Yeah. So, should we talk about breakfast?
Oh yes, breakfast before the challenge, right? Yes.
Yes. So, the very first group into breakfast is just the traitors, which I thought was scandalous.
Well, I think what happened is like there was no time for a turret meeting last
Yeah.
night, or there was no murder, and they hadn't really gotten to talk. And if you noticed, they gave them a lot longer than they usually give other groups. Maybe it's just because there was more to talk about, so the other stuff gets cut. But I actually think they planned it as like the traitor meeting, the turret meeting substitute,
Yeah.
sort of. And they
I think
held
I
everyone else until it was like time.
yeah, I agree, but I do feel like that's one thing I've said about this show is like if you're not paying attention to the breakfast groups, you're missing out on information. I don't know if anybody's analyzing it that deep, but I do feel like it's
I
information.
I think you are clocking that. I definitely don't think other people are, because until you said it about like the last three who enter are always the ones who are up for consideration or whatever. And I never noticed that before. And then I obviously noticed it was the three traders together, but like, I don't know. What have you noticed any other patterns? Like
Well,
from
it's
like
like
just say like
it's
the middle group or whatever?
not necessarily like usually what happens is the last group is the people up for consideration or the last group has the one who got murdered. So it's hard to know which is which, but like if you're doing math, you can start like applying statistics to it, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is like if you're the second group to come into breakfast, you have to pay attention to what's happening when you're walking in and what was like the vibe before you got there, you know?
Hmm.
Because in this case, I
No,
feel
for
like it
sure.
could have been very clear that they were all in cahoots or at least like tightly bonded. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So I feel like production set them up for a potential risk by doing that, which I wouldn't have probably liked as a trader if I was a trader.
Yeah, but it is interesting because I think it's just so much easier to see it from the outside. I don't know how obvious that would be on the inside. And we also don't know too, um, obviously anyone who's getting votes at the round table, they have to talk about it. But like Kristen posted on her Instagram that like she and Mark became really good friends. They had a big strategy together. Like they were really like A, being strategic, and B, had suspicions and insights that were not included at all. And
Yeah.
so I do wonder, like, there's just no way no one has clocked Candace or Rob at all, even as like a 1%er chance. And we haven't seen it
Yeah.
other than like Michael saying like, "You're too handsome. You'd be a good trader." So like, there's just it's possible we're missing stuff and people are picking stuff up.
That's true. And like I don't think they're going to want to put that on the show. Like I think
Well,
it's them
exactly. They're
because
making
they
a good
came in the
show,
last group. Yeah.
right? It would make the show look bad. So
Agreed. I'm just mostly saying like if I was them, I wouldn't be happy that they did that. Like put us
yeah,
there like that.
I know. And
Um
then it's so interesting too. They like didn't quite sit by each other. It was like two, and then they left a space or two in between. I don't know. It's all very interesting.
yeah, that feels weird because like it doesn't matter who you came in with, like you would probably sit next to them.
That's what I think too.
Unless production like told them where to sit, maybe. I could see that happening,
Maybe.
to be honest.
That's probably the right way to do it because otherwise it's just too suspicious or too easy to like, yeah. That's probably the best way to kind of remove that element from the game of like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
One thing
to your
I,
point, no one ever says like, no one is ever like, well, and those three always sit together, or those two, like that has never come up, I don't think. So that it must be production, I guess.
yeah, it's probably like who they want to get in the different shots. This would be my guess.
Yeah.
Um, so one thing I noticed, like Rob's shirt was like not bugging me, but like I couldn't stop thinking about his shirt all episode, and then I realized it looks like a vote for Pedro shirt.
Oh my god, it did.
Uh, so I thought that was funny. But at
It said
breakfast,
wild desert cowboy.
yeah. But it was
It's just
like,
so funny because like a shirt like that to me is so cringe, and I don't know what my version of that would be. But I would just never wear a shirt that had like a 3 sentence statement about myself, dance floor queen. Like I don't know, I just don't think I'd wear that a shirt like that. But it's just funny like how he's like hot, so he pulls it off.
well, I wouldn't say it was his most successful look, but
I
I would say
agree.
it's
To
not
be
his
clear,
worst.
I agree.
Yeah,
I heard about his overalls. There's a story. Do you want it?
sure.
It's brief. He didn't bring overalls with him because he didn't think that they would let him wear them. And then production was like, "Oh, do you want to wear your overalls?" And he's like, "I didn't bring them because I didn't think you'd let me wear them." So production bought him another pair of overalls. So, anyways,
That's shady. What they
it
bought.
just gave I know, but it gave me insight. Like I don't know, but it would just surprise me if like Rob, as an example, picked out that ball or the banquet outfit because like what a specific garment. Do you know what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I could see if they had help.
But I'm sure it's not just for him. Like I'm guessing wardrobe gives help to a lot of people because like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if I was supposed to wear a banquet outfit, I would just I don't even know. I have a sparkle shirt, I guess, but like
Well, I think it's different if you're not on a celebrity season.
I agree. I agree, but then again, a lot of these people are not like Rob lives on a farm now. Like he doesn't have a ton of money and he's not like fashion glamorous. So anyways,
I don't know. All I know is RuPaul's Drag Race queens get it together. So these people could get it together.
I agree.
So back to breakfast. Lisa and Rob are like trying to talk it out, and Lisa basically says like, "You need to help me." And they cut to Rob sitting in confessional, looking like a puppy that just got yelled at.
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
And he says Lisa's basically doomed and they need to let her go, which I think is right.
I think it's right too. Where I think he's maybe making a mistake is like at this point, it's obvious Lisa's going, and he really messed up not making an alliance with Candace. Um, and the things that we know is that he, Rob and Candace don't follow each other and have made so like Candace has made like mean comments about him on Instagram. Nothing crazy, but like it's obvious that they don't like each other. And I think he messed up. I mean, again, not that she needs to be his best friend out of the game, but like, you know, Lisa's not doing well. Like, she's putting our game at risk. Like, I'm not anti traitor. I just am seeing this as bad, and we need to be aligned on this. I think would have been good for him.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know when he's supposed to tell her that because he can't say it in the turret in front of Lisa necessarily. You know what I mean?
No, he would have had to find a minute to pull her aside.
I think it's just honestly more a flaw on like Candace's gameplay of like I was doubting it before, but I do feel like Rob's just playing at that higher level of like understanding like the game within the game within the game,
Yeah.
where Lisa was definitely not, and Candace doesn't seem like she is either.
No, I agree. Well, and it makes sense too because Rob said his favorite reality TV show and the only one he watches is Survivor. And he wants to go on Survivor and only decided to do this because it felt somewhat similar. So it actually does make sense that he's playing it kind of like a gamer would. Because if he's watched all these seasons, like you do learn, especially given this like celebrity cast. Like I think it's an easy game to play if you are smart and have studied these games.
Yeah, I agree. So I do think he's leveling up in my eyes in terms of gameplay. So anything else before Alan comes?
Um, Let me double check my notes. No, it's so funny. I had almost no notes about breakfast.
Oh, well, you seem to like think that there's a lot of things that happen uniquely every episode, and I'm like, that happens every episode. Because
Maybe.
guess what happens after breakfast?
The
They all
challenge?
talk some more.
Oh, damn. Got me again, gal.
Yes. One thing about me is I know the format of the show.
One thing about me, I think maybe this week it'll be different.
Well, it does get confusing when they start chopping up which parts happen in which episode. So I'll give you that.
They do that. And then like there's not always a banquet. So say that.
True. So, okay. Alan walks in typical Alan fashion. Eric says, PSA, Alan coming throws horrible parties, which I thought was funny in a
That was funny.
confessional. Sorry, one more funny thing happened at breakfast. Lisa calls Colton a dog with a bone who will not drop it. Which, is that like a saying? I've never heard that before.
Dog with a bone is a saying, yeah. Um,
Okay.
yeah. It
Because
just
then he
means
kept
like someone
saying,
who's hyper fixated on something and like won't focus on anything else.
got it. And then he kept saying, like, I'm not dogging you. And I'm like, I don't know if those two metaphors go together, but
I agree, but maybe they do.
yeah, I don't know. Okay. So I feel like this is going off the rails, but Kristen, Tara, Natalie come in last, and Kristen says, ooh, should I split them up? Referencing the potion feud.
Oh yes, that was funny.
So then Alan comes in and he says, and now Jam Jam is toast toast.
That was really funny.
That was one of his tops, I think.
I would be mad if my name was Jam Jam and someone said that about me.
Yeah, but it's really funny. I mean, you have to give it to him.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so then breakfast ends and everybody starts chatting, throwing out their names for the day. Mark and Johnny are suspicious of Natalie because they think she went like too hard trying to get the antidote. Natalie is talking with Tara, like trying to clear the air, I guess, and explain herself. And Natalie says that if she was the traitor, stealing it from Tara would have immediately exposed her. Like if Tara was the one who was going to get murdered, like, and Natalie steals it from Tara, it's like that makes it look like Natalie wanted her to die.
Yeah.
Which to me makes total logical sense, but as we see, like Tara just like can't let go of that later. So I don't understand why.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
But then, as Natalie continues to talk, more people come into the room, like Lisa specifically. And Natalie says the words, "We murdered one." And I'm like, oh no, not this again.
Oh my god, I know. It makes me think she's not gonna last either.
Yeah, it's just like it's unfortunate that it happened in front of Lisa, but it kind of felt like Tara didn't think much of it.
I know. I mean, at least it grabbed onto it immediately because she needs anything she can use at all.
Because it's like if she says like we murdered Tiffany, it's like obviously Tiffany didn't get murdered; she got banished. So it's like, but she didn't say Tiffany's name. She just said we murdered
Yeah.
one. But
Yeah.
it just goes back to that thing about these types of games, which is like you find one reason to make everybody latch on to someone and you just push hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm afraid that that's going to happen with her.
Yeah. I agree. But I think she's played a good game, but it has not been perfect. Like the antidote thing was suspicious. This was suspicious. And we'll see what else happens.
Yeah. So I think this happens in the cars on the way to the game, but Rob is with Lisa, Mark, Mara, and Steven. And he kind of turns on Lisa and says, anytime two people have different versions of the same story, someone is lying. Which sounds really great as a sound bite. I don't know if it's necessarily true, but
Well, they always say there's three sides to every story: your side, my side, and the truth.
wow. Clock that T. See, if Lisa knew that saying, she could still be there.
Yeah. But unfortunately, she was a dog with a bone on her saying.
Yeah. So Rob says that Jam Jam said she actually kissed him. Lisa immediately said she didn't. So those are the two different versions. And says Jam Jam has no reason to lie because he had just been murdered. So what benefit does he have as a murdered faithful to lie? So he's saying basically believe what Jam Jam said, which, as we find out, actually is a lie.
Yes.
And assume Lisa's is the lie. So I feel like that's really the nail in the coffin. Like what he said felt so convincing to me,
Yeah.
which he
Well,
does
he basically
repeat
says the same
later.
thing at the round table. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So here's where I wrote, I finally think Rob is playing smart, but I am worried about what will happen with Candace when if he turns on Lisa.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, as we'll see, it is a risk. So the game, I called it the luck of the Firish game.
Hilarious. I
Okay,
love
if
that.
literally anybody at Peacock is watching this, please name the games.
Maybe that could be your job.
It's just like another opportunity for something fun.
Yeah. This was a fun challenge too, because, well, talk about how you do it, because I don't actually
I
remember all the
agree.
rules.
So, the rules of this challenge is they have 30 minutes to race up to the top of this hill where there is the Firish Monument. Um, they have backpacks, and along the way, they're going to have to pick up gold to take to the top. Turns out the gold is just rocks, which is hilarious.
Yes.
But also, that becomes part of the challenge, which is that your backpack's going to get heavier as you pick up more. Alan tells them that the 6 players with the most gold at the end will earn the right to play for the dagger, which is a new concept to the show. This will give them 2 votes at a round table, any of the next 4 round tables.
That's
So,
really good.
yeah, I wrote, I love a game. Well, I'm just getting into further, but 2 votes could really like be the difference between you going home or not.
Well, and like last episode or two, whatever, whenever the Lisa almost went home, she only went home not by one vote.
Yeah.
So Ron went home. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this would have maybe made the difference if whoever won used it
It could have been the
there.
3-way tie.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
Um,
this is my favorite game, I think. Well, I liked the
it was really
community.
fun.
I think this game has the most strategy of any of the games so far
Yeah, because
because
like,
like this reminded me of a game from the challenge, which was like you have to figure out, are you going to race ahead to get the first pile of rocks and then have a heavier backpack to carry all the way up the hill, or are you going to try to pick up rocks at the end, but what if there's not as many rocks at the end? And then they twisted it even further as like somewhere up the hill there was like a throwing challenge, which was like you could throw one of your rocks and potentially lose it to win 20K or 2K. Sorry. Is that right?
yeah, I think so.
20K sounds like a lot. So I just like that there was a lot of different strategies to this game in order to try to make sure you have the most gold at the end.
I agree. And then what we see is like it was unclear how heavy the things were, but they were real rocks, and the backpacks were heavy because
Yeah.
even Rob needed help carrying his, and like Colton carries it for him for part of it, which is like funny.
Yeah. So they're all racing up the hill. Basically, like the housewives like have nothing in their backpacks. They just like get to the throwing station and like throw all their rocks away because they don't want to carry them up.
Yeah.
But basically, everybody makes it in a time limit, no problem. It seems like, and then the final twist is at the top, which is there's a chest with everybody's name, one chest with each person's name, and you can put your rocks in anybody's chest. So I thought this was another good strategy point of like some people only had a few rocks, so it's like you're not going to win with just 5 rocks. Who do you want to give them to have a better shot? So that's another really good information point to see who's allying with who if you were there to see it.
Yeah, and it really proves someone's allegiance to you or not.
Yes. So I thought this was a 10 out of 10 game.
I agree. And it
Well,
seemed
9 out
like
of 10
so Rob,
because
yeah,
they didn't name it.
right. So Rob ends up having the most gold, but it seemed like it was just from him and Colton pooling together.
Yeah. I wrote they were bestying it up the mountain together,
Yeah.
where Colton was basically carrying his rocks for him, and they did like everything together, it looked like.
I know. It's interesting.
Colton tells Rob he has to get Mora to vote Lisa while they're coming up the mountain. So Colton is still on Lisa, and he thinks Rob's on his side, which isn't wrong.
Yes. Um, agreed.
Anything else from the
So,
game before the winners? Yeah. So the 6 winners, or the 6 people that have the most gold, are Colton, Eric, Mark, Natalie, Rob, and Steven. Then we find out this is like a game of twists and twists and twists. Alan says the person with the most gold gets an advantage, which is kind of a scam because if people knew that, that might have changed how they allocated the gold, possibly.
yeah, it's also funny too because the advantage is I an advantage. It didn't feel like an advantage to me more than it was like because like the 6 of them did not have an equal chance, and then one of them had like a little extra chance. It was like only 5 out of the 6 had a chance, and the win like Rob had the biggest advantage.
I don't know the statistics. So there's 5 people with 5 cards. One has the dagger. So you have a 1 in 5 chance of having it.
Yes.
And then Rob has a 1 in 5 chance of guessing it correctly.
Yes.
So he has the true 1 in 5 chance. They have a 1 in 5 chance to get it with an unknown chance of it getting it stolen. So he has
Yes.
technically a higher chance of getting it.
Yeah. I don't know what the right way to do it is. Well, it ended up being really interesting, but maybe they should have had like 7 tiles and Rob got to pick 2.
Maybe. I mean, he did a good job.
Well, it ended up being like more interesting and compelling than that. It just didn't quite feel like fair to me.
Yeah. But the game, I really liked the game. It's like a classic bluffing game that I've seen time and time again. This is another thing I really loved is like this gives a lot of information to the players, and it's also a tough strategy point because it's like if you're the 5 players with the cards, do you want to look like a good liar or not?
Right.
Do you want
Good
to look like
point.
you can lie and cheat and betray, or do you want to be honest and look like a faithful? And
Yeah, that's a great point.
each one of them, when asked, say they do not have the dagger. So one of them is lying. So one of them made that choice to try to keep the dagger for themselves and possibly look like a good liar when people find out who has it.
Yeah, but I don't see any universe where someone has the dagger and just like says I have it.
But like the
Or
moment they
maybe
try to
that's the
use it,
strategy is like you say you have it and see if they don't believe you.
that is a fun strategy. Super risky though,
I know.
because you'll get murdered
Interesting.
for sure. Like if you say you have it.
Maybe. It's just so interesting because like well, okay, so what ends up happening is Rob declares himself to be like a human lie detector. And it seemed like he did a really good job. Oh, wait, I mean, he did do a really good job. Um, and I wasn't sure how well it was working based on the edit, but then like Natalie was the last person, and she did kind of seem suspicious in her answer, and he took hers,
Yeah.
and he did get it. Um, but to your point, we don't know. But I think he did it the right way because so then Rob, they get to the bottom, the 6 of them are together. Rob says, like, you guys, I got the dagger, like alliance of 6. But I kind of think it was his only option because Natalie knew he had it. So if Natalie knew he had it and he was lying about it, it kind of would give her an opening to use that information however she wanted to.
Yeah, I feel like he took the power away from her by doing that.
Yeah.
But like one thing I feel like this game is it put 5 versus 1. Like it kind of put Rob on the opposite side as like an enemy of that 5. So I feel like he had no choice but to like come clean.
Yeah. No, I agree. And he did a good job.
I just don't know if it would have been better to tell Natalie he's not going to tell anyone privately,
I don't think so
because
because then you're giving her power.
I don't know. Just like I wonder if this is going to come back to bite him, because that's 5 other people that know he has the dagger. Like if one of those 5 people is a traitor, what would that person do?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
If you were to kill the person with the dagger, then that puts suspicion on that 5, I guess. So maybe a traitor wouldn't. I don't know. It's just like anytime they give a power like this that's secret, I feel like it gets risky to the people involved with
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll see what happens.
it. Yeah. Okay. So they get back to the house. A lot of people are bringing up Natalie's name. Lisa tells the story about Natalie saying when we murdered the gamer. Um, it seems like Natalie kind of has it written on the walls for her.
A little bit, yeah.
Um, my question was: is Rob going to tell Candace or Lisa that he has the dagger?
I don't think so. I think he's trying to really, I don't know, secure his power or whatever you want to call it. So I think he's only telling those other five so that way he then knows who of that group is kind of trustworthy.
Yeah, that's smart. I think also he might need to use the dagger against Candace, so I think it'd be
I
good
think
to
so
not tell
too.
her.
Agreed.
So the two names for tonight are Natalie and seems like Lisa.
Yes.
Um, so ready for round table?
I'm ready.
All right, the second table of the episode, the round table. Lisa's the first one to start talking. And she goes on Natalie with the When We Murdered story. Natalie pulls the classic Lisa defense and says that she didn't say that. Tara confirms that she heard it also. Um, what did you think about Natalie's defense? Did
I
she
mean,
do good?
she did fine. What was really interesting was it didn't seem to stick to her. Like maybe it was just the edit, but like they moved off of her very quickly. And so
Yeah,
it seemed like she did a good job because like she didn't really garner much suspicion, I felt.
yeah. She says that to Lisa that Lisa's just trying to get the heat off of herself and blaming Natalie, which in this situation I think is a good defense because
Yeah.
everybody is already suspicious of her.
No, I think that's a great defense because it is the truth.
And I think it was a
And
mistake
like
for Lisa to open the table.
I agree. And it just like worked really well for Natalie because Lisa has been under suspicion for a while. It would not have worked well if this was like week 1 or 2. So
Yeah, I agree. So Johnny says Natalie fought way harder than him to get the antidote when they were in the same situation, which was, I think, getting served food from Steven. Um, I feel like that is a good point to make. But again, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's an emotional point, but not a logical point,
yeah,
if that makes
I
sense.
agree.
But it's hard because so many people, when in the absence of fact, all you really have left is your gut feelings and your emotion. So I
Yeah.
kind of don't blame them for that.
No, I agree with
But
that.
yeah, ultimately, Colton gets to bring up Jam Jam. And he says, why did Jam Jam go so aggressively on Lisa after he got murdered? And here's what I think is a mistake. Candace really comes to rescue Lisa, saying, yeah, but remember when Jam Jam fake cried? Like, we don't always take him at face value. Like, he doesn't always portray the truth.
Yeah,
I feel like Candace really needs to get off the sinking ship, and I don't know why she's trying so hard to save Lisa.
I agree. It was kind of a weird choice. It was not clocking to her. It also makes me wonder if Candace watched the previous seasons of the show. I'm sure she must have seen a little bit, just so you have an understanding. But if she had really watched the 3 previous US seasons or any of the, anyways, she would just, it would maybe be clocking to her that traders eventually have to turn on each other a little bit to save themselves. And it didn't seem like she was getting that at all.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like she's not at that higher tier of the game, I guess I would call it.
Yeah.
So Mara corroborates the kissing story and says that Lisa really did kiss him, which Must have been a real gag for Lisa. Like,
I
it's
know.
so funny to have to defend yourself against an entirely made up story.
I know, I know. Well, I understand why that is hard, but it is really funny.
It's like, yeah, I don't even know how you prepare for that other than to truly say that that's not what happened because you can't say what really happened.
Yeah, I know, totally.
I do feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, yeah. So, um, Dorinda comes to Lisa's rescue and says that Lisa air kissed everybody. And she pulls a classic Dorinda and like won't let Mara talk, which I thought was funny, making more enemies in the house.
Yes.
And then Rob speaks up, which I feel like is a mistake, but I think I guess he's playing all in right here. And
Yeah,
he
he is.
says that emotions were high, which brought out the worst of some people. But he's being very, very calm and collected. He defends Natalie, saying, why would Natalie make such a big ordeal as a traitor to steal the antidote from Tara if Tara wasn't even the target? And he circles back to Jam Jam's final words about Lisa and saying, like, what benefit does he have to lie about it? And it's very convincing, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And then Lisa just didn't defend herself well. Like she should have said, like, Jam Jam was obviously upset. Like he just found out he was murdered, so it's upsetting. But I didn't do it. He didn't have any actual evidence. He said I kissed him. Again, I kissed everyone. And I think too, like they all knew a murder in plain sight. A was happening and B happened. And I do think that like just like a kiss or an air kiss or whatever, that was just like too easy. It just didn't make sense that that would have been what got him. Because it had to be something too that like, you know, not it had to be something unique. Like they all kind of air kiss
Yeah,
each other. It just would have felt too easy, and like that's where I think her best defense stood.
yeah. I agree. We didn't talk about it, but I loved that part of the game of like trying to get someone to do something.
Yeah,
Uh, I think was a fun addition to the show, but
yeah.
it's hard to be like, I think the murder in plain sight would have been more complicated, and they would be like, well, how would you know that? And I don't know if that really gets you anywhere.
Well, it was her only chance. It may not have, but certainly saying I don't know why he would say that is not a good defense.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you are innocent, then like I guess that's what you would say, but as we know, she's not.
Yeah.
So
But again, it was just a pattern with her. That was kind of her response to every accusation. And so it just added up that several things pointed to her every time. It was just like, well, I don't know why that would be. It's like, well, yeah, because you're guilty.
yes. Well, the votes. So Mark starts. He votes Lisa. The next vote is Tara, who votes Natalie. She cannot get off this Natalie stealing the potion thing. Stephanie votes Lisa. Lisa, of course, votes Natalie. Colton votes Lisa. Eric votes Lisa. And then we get to Candace. And she does what I feel like is the first throw vote on the American seasons. And not only does she throw her vote, but she votes Rob, which is Gagatrandra.
It's kind of the most interesting thing that happened this episode in terms of the future, I think.
It's the most messiest thing that I think could happen.
Well, especially because obviously you have to vote before you know what everyone else did. But she was at the round table and it was so clear Lisa was going down that it was kind of an insane choice.
I don't think it's insane to throw, but like to vote Rob is crazy.
Well, right, his name hadn't come up. Like, I don't know. I think it. We'll see. We truly don't know what happens, but it seems like the thing that will maybe take them both down. And maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she thinks it'd be fun to take them both down. But yeah,
I mean, that's what I think is happening. Like she's just getting messy for the fun of it.
yeah, I agree.
So that really gagged me. Kristen votes Lisa. Johnny switches to Lisa because I'm pretty sure he went in going to vote Natalie, and Lisa gets banished. Uh, Other notable votes is that Dorinda voted for Mara, and Natalie voted Lisa, of course.
Yeah, I love a vote that makes no sense.
Yeah,
Candace has
Rob.
made sense. Dorinda's did
Well,
not.
yours made sense. I do feel like is that a strategy to just vote stupidly and then people won't think of you as a threat?
Maybe.
Because I feel like that happened last season, especially. Like all the Bambis voted like the dumbest votes. No offense. And aside from Chriselle, I feel like they lasted. Like Gabby won.
Yeah. No, it's true. It can happen.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously you don't want to look like you're not voting for the real like with the pack, but I feel like making a dumb vote actually kind of could be the play.
Yeah. No, I agree with
Um,
that.
Rob also voted Lisa, which we kind of knew was coming, but
Yeah.
he says basically the same thing that Colton said, like saying I voted for a legend, an icon, and a traitor. And I'm like, you guys got to get your heads out of your asses here. Like, why are we saying
No,
the
I
same
agree.
thing?
I know. It's been weird.
And
It's been
Colton
weird
has
and
said that
like
so many
this
times.
I know. He's on my nerves so badly. And like so then after the round table, he celebrates as an egg, pretty much says he led the charge to get Lisa out. Which I guess like he has been on her for a while.
Yeah.
And again, we don't know what we didn't see, but definitely like it was mostly led by Rob.
Well, I think this plays out great for Rob to let Colton be that guy and just sit in the
Yeah.
back behind the scenes. I wrote the worst part of all of this is that Colton is now vindicated and he's going to be like in a whole cocky attitude.
I know. And then he immediately starts to like pick his next target. Like he then is immediately like, Steven has been suspicious to me. It's like, stop this.
Truly. So back to the round table. Lisa goes up there. And if I were her, I would have said, like, it wasn't the kiss. Like, I would have had to let everyone know. I'd be like, you're all wrong. And then say, like, what she said. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what she's allowed to say. I know that's so funny. That's a good point though.
I feel like I would have had to clear the air. Like, I would have been like, you guys are all wrong. Jam Jam didn't die because I kissed him. I don't know if that you believe that though. So I don't know. Maybe it's hard to work it into the speech because if then you're like, well, and I'm the traitor. It's like, well,
I
doesn't
think
make
they
sense.
would have believed it once she was like out. You know what I mean? But maybe not.
Yeah. All right. Well, she did have a good goodbye speech. I liked it, and I liked the way that she like walked out.
Yeah. She's fun. She's good
it,
TV. She always has been.
and at least it felt like she wasn't sad. Like she was like happy. Like I got out of it what I wanted to get out of it, and got to leave like on her terms. So
Yeah, she got to be the star of the show for a minute, which is all Lisa Rinna wants.
yeah, I think she wasn't the best gamer, but I think she did understand more than others that like this is a TV show. Like I'm gonna be entertaining and I'm gonna have fun with it
Yeah.
in the way that I think Colton didn't understand.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. So post roundtable, like you said, Colton tells Johnny he's on to Steven. Johnny says Colton gave them Lisa, so seems like Colton is a traitor. So I love that
Mhm.
Johnny is not picking up Colton's BS. Colton tells Rob that Lisa, or Colton tells Rob and Lisa that Candace moved it off of Lisa every time. So it's like, damn, he really is clocking,
Yeah. Interesting.
unfortunately.
I didn't notice that
And then
part.
Rob says, Gagatranja, is it possible that it's a turret full of housewives?
Oh my god. I love that.
I feel like I am now finally respecting Rob's gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, today this episode was mostly good. There's a few things that I am nervous for him about, but we'll see. Like maybe we're wrong and maybe he's nailing it. But I certainly think he's got another like there's no way he's going next episode. Like I think he's making it very far.
I'm just worried about Candace and Rob burning each other down to the ground. Because it seems like
Yeah.
she is going to pull a Lisa or a Colton and like, I'm going to take you down or die trying situation.
She is. It'll be interesting because, like, so the episode ends, like, go to the turret, they undo their hoods and, like, stare at each other, and it's obvious Candace is, like, fucking pissed. And that's how the episode ends. But, like, what happens next, typically, and we don't know for sure, but they think they're going to have to recruit another traitor, and they have to decide together. And that is going to be so interesting.
I was going to say, I think production would have to make them recruit now in case they do burn each other down. But it's going to be the fight, to your point of like, who are they going to agree to pick?
Exactly. And we'll see if there's anyone they can agree upon. To me, the only likely scenario, and I don't know who it would be, but it's like that they both agree on someone that they both think they can trust and can recruit to their own sides, and that becomes the drama of like this person accepts, and then between the two, who will they pick? But I do think Rob is playing the better game than Candace at this point, so I would genuinely expect someone to pick Rob over Candace.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what happens in
I know, it's so
episode
good.
8.
8. She ate.
Yes. Well, any last thoughts?
Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for being a friend.
Of course. Oh my god. Alright,
Well,
everyone. Thank you. Please subscribe.
okay, once more with feeling.
Please subscribe.
Thanks everyone for watching and listening, and we'll be back next week to recap the next episode of The Traitors.
Bye.
Bye.